So in 2003, we were getting busier and busier in the current space, and we decided to take a leap of faith and move to a larger space. So we signed a lease on 31st and 5th. It was about 4,000 square feet. And one of the funniest stories about the first day was the famous blackout of 2003. We were actually
unpacking computers and putting memory in.
Kind of laying everything out, and Jeremy was changing the RAM on one of the machines, and all of a sudden power went out, and we kind of thought, what just happened? What do? We just blew the building, you know, we're going to get thrown out on our first day. And lo and behold, we come to realize as we're looking out the windows that there was a bigger issue at hand.
Didn't you have to take my bike home through the tunnel?
No, I actually went to your house to get your bike, but you couldn't answer because cell phones weren't working, and neither was the doorbell or anything else. And I kind of think you probably ignored me yelling to the window, so I ended up walking home. And trying to get out, the fire exit was freshly painted and stuck together, so we basically kicked the door down and went down the fire escape.
So when we first saw this space, we thought, man, how are we ever going to fill this place? This is huge. Why do we need all this room? It's the same feeling anyone gets who moves into a larger office or a larger home. You think you're never going to fill it up. And of course, over there 8 years. The 8 years we were there, we pretty much filled up every square inch of it. But what it allowed us to do was to grow, and to grow by hiring some new people, some new staff members, and to fulfill some roles that over the first couple of years Danny and I were doing, and we decided it's finally time to get someone else to answer the phones, and it's finally time to get some other artists on hand to help us out with the work. And eventually we did actually hire a producer, a project manager to help run some of the day-to-day projects that were just starting to overwhelm us. So that was a big plus of getting a new space. And we always had this mentality of if we build it, they will come. And we actually had, I believe, 3 edit rooms in the first layout. Again, going back to the first space of Perception, which was just a corner where we could really only accommodate one client session at a time. And we were getting requests from ESPN and HBO, and then even Showtime started, all wanting to have sessions, of course, at the same time on the same day. And we never want to turn down work or an opportunity, so when we built and laid out the new space, we decided we needed a few different edit rooms going concurrently so we could accommodate the growing demand, which is great because it actually did many times come in handy where we had sessions going on in parallel.
Bob Greenberg used to surround himself with very talented people, so we kind of had that same mindset and wanted to find people that were faster than us and could design better than us and things like that, because it would only make the company stronger. And then, from that kind of mindset, we started getting even newer clients and getting even busier. And sometimes it'd be only editing, or sometimes it'd be more just a visual effects spot. So we started to really bring in a lot of different work.
We didn't have to worry about the capacity of just 2 people. Now we had a few more bodies that were able to handle a bigger workload. So in the early days of the new space, we started working with ABC Sports. One of the big projects we got to do with them was a huge golf campaign for the Battle at the Bridges, which was a primetime golf event, and they wanted something pretty epic for this spot, and we came up with a journey through time from the Big Bang to the present as told through golf, which was slightly humorous, but it was a pretty epic spot, ambitious spot for its time. That then led to working on Super Bowl XL with ABC. What are some of the other big clients you remember from?
Getting to work on Speed Channel.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was our first forte into more of a reality TV, because they had come out with, or were coming out with a reality show called Wrecked, and it was about a tow truck company in Chicago, which is the main hub, obviously, for transit around the United States. And the reality show really was our forte into a full 360 kind of immersive campaign. Instead of just doing the promos for tonight on Speed, it was more about the full thinking and the strategy of what the show's about, how we're going to showcase it, what's the website look like. We're doing out of home, we did billboards, we wrapped buses. Yeah. So we came up with a bunch of different ideas, pitched against a couple of actual agencies instead of just design studios, and we won. And that was a game changer for us.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do a lot of branding for that show. We wrote all the copy, we did all the taglines, designed the logo, and really, as Danny said, just covered all the bases for the show to ensure its success, and it actually was a pretty big success for them. So
yeah, I remember
really proud of that.
I remember getting a call from the executives saying, "Hey, we got to talk ratings," and I was kind of sweating because I was like, "Oh, what are they going to say to us?" And I think they crushed it by like 3 times their normal.
Blew the expectations wide open.
So it was, again, a huge game changer. We started to gain more momentum because we were winning a lot of awards, Promax,
Tellies, a lot of PR in the press.
Yeah.
We started doing more and more on-air promos for reality shows on Bravo and HGTV and Nat Geo and shows like that started hiring us to do full-on campaigns, which is really cool. We continue to look for new opportunities as we continue to rewrite our Dream 100 list of clients. But one of the biggest consistent brands that was always #1 on that list was Marvel. Right around that time, in the early 2000s, was the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and the two of us saw the coming trend of superhero movies, which really all began with that first Spider-Man, and at the time Ang Lee was making the first Hulk movie. So we really started launching targeted attacks at Marvel, both in New York to Ang Lee's production company, as well as the Marvel in California. And then eventually we did actually get an opportunity to work on some titles for their animated DVD division. So that culminated in doing 3 different opening sequences for Hulk vs. Wolverine, Tales of Asgard, which was Young Thor, and Planet Hulk. So that was really an awesome opportunity to start our working relationship with Marvel.
The first project we got was Hulk vs. Wolverine, which is funny because your favorite character is Hulk, and my favorite was Wolverine. So it was kind of a crazy dream come true to not only work with Marvel, but to work on a project that had both of our favorite characters in it. Was a lot of fun.
So one of the big things that this all led to was another milestone for us, which was the hiring of a managing director. As we were getting more and more projects and getting more and more designers and help to actually do the work, we slowly but surely realized that we needed someone who can sort of run day-to-day operations and handle the minute-to-minute urgencies that would arise on a daily basis. Because as the owners, Danny and I really needed to always be one step ahead, looking around the next corner, looking down, the next few months of what was coming. And if we were so deep in the weeds doing this work as we could never get out to actually start to worry about the next project, the next big thing. So we realized that we needed someone to start to take over those responsibilities in order to free us up to really focus on bigger picture issues, new business, getting out there and meeting clients face to face, and in effect really taking that next step towards growing perception.
Yeah, and that's when we started speaking a lot more at the events like Promax and being on panels and judging. Remember we used to judge a lot of the awards. That also led to going to schools and recruiting, speaking, doing critiques. We've been to a ton, SCAD, Otis, CMU.
I look back on that as one of the shifts for our growth curve to really spike because of what he was able to do for us being here, so we didn't have to be. But another big milestone was finding an individual who would someday become the creative director at Perception. Right around, I guess it was 05 or 06, we brought in an animator designer who was a young, talented guy, pretty much out of school, I think. And he's been with us ever since. And his name is John Lepore, and he is now Chief Creative Director at Perception. But he was one of those early hires that just grew and grew and grew and got his hands on everything we were working on.
Yeah, I think he definitely saw the vision that Jeremy and I, set forth for Perception, kind of the roadmap that we wanted to follow. And he was there every step of the way with us. So, for us it was great because he knows the history.
You'll be hearing more from him in future episodes as well.